Hi, my name's Dr. Eric Millard, and I'm the trumpet professor at UNC Charlotte. I want to talk to you about this year's NCMEA All-District and All-State Etude for trumpet, grades 9 and 10. I think the first thing to notice is that the etude's in three separate sections. Right? We have a slow and lyrical opening section, a contrasting technical and a little bit faster section in the middle, and then another slow and lyrical section to close it out. So be sure as you're working on this that those three sections have pretty stark contrast from each other. The two lyrical sections should be really smooth, really well connected with the air, and just beautiful. Focus on phrasing and playing with a really warm, nice open sound, and those things will highlight your abilities. When you're working through these slurred passages in the opening section and at the end, try to connect as much as you can with the air, blowing not just at the notes but between the notes, aiming for smooth connections, ease in tone production, and that's also going to help you get around the register and some of the intervals as well. Be sure when you get to the 16th notes on the second line that you don't rush, but you stay right in time. As you're playing through the first line and certainly the 8th notes at the beginning of the second line, be sure you're subdividing those 16th notes so you're ready for those when they come. There are some phrase markings, crescendos and decrescendos, and some dynamic indications throughout all of this. However, not all of the moments are marked instructionally of what to do with the music. Be sure as the performer that you take an opportunity to shape the phrase in a way that's always going to have some sort of motion. So don't let any of your music just be kind of stagnant and flat, but the phrase should always be either moving forward or relaxing. When you get to the middle section at measure 9, make sure the tempo is faster, and also it says brillante. So the sound should be probably a little bit brighter and certainly now a little bit more dynamically. We have fortissimo marked, and now we're articulated as well. So the style and the mood of the piece totally shift, and being able to capture that right from the get-go is going to be really important. Notice that you have accents throughout this that are going to help kind of give the rhythmic energy. When you have the syncopations, especially on the accented note, lean into that spot. Be sure when you have the strings of 16th notes that those have some sort of forward direction, especially the ones that are leading into the downbeat and have an accent after them. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. That's going to give the piece a little bit of energy and probably help you keep the air consistent and smooth between all those notes without getting too choppy. Be sure that when you have the few staccato notes that are in here, that you don't play pecky or short, but more of a round and bouncy, light articulation style. A lot of times when we see technical passages, we start to overuse our tongue, and then the tongue starts to interrupt the airstream. So your goal should be to play everything as smooth as possible with as little tongue as you need to make a clear articulation. There's some great opportunities in this middle section for dynamic contrast, starting at fortissimo with a mezzo forte and a mezzo piano. Be sure that you make as much contrast here as possible, both in the style, the tone, and the dynamic, and especially when there's the moments that are subito dynamic changes. Those are really great opportunities to have a dramatic moment in the music. If you're playing the B ending, it's marked poco rubato at the very end. This means you can take just a little bit of time and have some flexibility with the time and rhythm there to let the piece kind of relax and flow the way you feel that it really should. So don't be afraid to take just a little bit of liberty there. Remember, as you're preparing, always focus on tone and musical expression. If you can play with a great sound and you always have some sort of phrasing that's going to lead and shape this piece, you're going to have a really effective performance that the adjudicators are going to enjoy listening to. I hope that all helps. I wish you the best of luck as you begin preparing and hope you have a fantastic audition.